Hello, fans, and welcome to Who Universe News. As we're going to look at all the latest Doctor Who news, and the first thing we need to bring up is the fact that Dots and Bubbles has got a listing up. It will be shared at 6:50 on BBC One Saturday, the 1st of June. It's going to be labelled as a 43-minute story. No synopsis has been given yet because BBC have only just put the listings up, so I won't be able to say. We won't be able to say for definite what the synopsis is going to be. But Shooty Gatwa and Minnie Gibson have described this episode recently as to be set in a colony that is going to discuss about a real world problem that is going to cause a big deal of discussion following the episode's airing. So definitely expect this to be centered around a real world discussion or a real world problem that's sort of in our everyday lives that will be discussed during this story. So definitely I would imagine this story is going to get a lot of conversations going, especially from what Minnie Gibson and Shooty Gatwa have described about the Dots and Bubbles story. And also, apparently, this story might include that slug creature that we saw on filming last year. Apparently, this is the creature that it's come from. It's from this story that's coming up on Saturday, the 1st of June. So yeah, we should be getting a synopsis in the next few days, but we will share that in the next news video if you're curious about what they're saying about Dots and Bubble. But essentially, this is going to be one of those stories that's going to have a real world topic being brought up. So definitely just prepare yourselves when you go into the story on Saturday, the 1st of June. There's going to be a real world topic that's going to happen. But interestingly, the only synopsis we do have is this. Well, there is a little tiny bit of synopsis, which is the Doctor and friends travel from the dawn of human history to a distant alien world. So that's all they say at this time. So they haven't really put a more unique description to it, but I would imagine we'll get a much more detailed description to it when we'll hopefully get a better description come the next news video when we finally have a proper synopsis. Now, as well as that, they also have confirmed, of course, the Doctor Who Unleashed has obviously been set for Saturday, the 1st of June for BBC Three, probably roughly at like 8:30, roughly the same time, maybe 7:35, roughly around that time on BBC Three, just like it was last week. And this week, they're going to probably air it at the same time on BBC Three. No synopsis has been given for Doctor Unleashed regarding Dots and Bubble yet, so we don't really know who he's going to talk to or who he's interviewing, but we'll probably find out, who Stefan Pallen's going to be interviewing, but I'm sure we'll find out soon as to who he'll be chatting with following the episode Dr. Bubble. Of course, moving on to the Doctor Who discussions, we do have the official listing, well, the official ratings for the first two episodes. So the TV ratings for episode 1, which is Space Babies, is labeled as 3.71 million, and that also had the TV plus 4 with a 4.1 million, 4.01 million for the TV plus viewing figures for the first episode. And then, of course, the Devil's Core had a 3.67 million for the TV only listings, whereas the TV plus 4 listings for Devil's Core is 3.91 million, which is actually, even though it's slightly lower, but it's still reasonably good. And then, of course, the overnight figures for Boom was 2.04 million, which I know there's been a lot of concern about the overnight figures dropping. But I think it will, that's mainly because of people taking advantage of BBC iPlayer for the most part. Because BBC iPlayer has become like the new norm for programs these days. So it kind of makes sense that a lot of people are going to use BBC iPlayer a lot more now that they're making the episodes available from midnight. So people are probably already watching the episodes before they even hit the tellies or hit the BBC One channel. So it makes sense that they would want to use BBC iPlayer more than the actual channel. So that's probably why we're seeing a decrease of ratings for BBC One going forward. That's mainly because of BBC iPlayer and making those episodes available early is why we're seeing. But anyway, moving forward, we did have a surprise guest appearance in Boom. In case you didn't know, the new companion, Varys Sephron, who we found out recently is going to be the new companion for Doctor Who, she actually appeared in Boom last week, playing a character called Munan Felon. And it turns out that she was actually cast into this episode by Moffat and Russell T Davies to do another Jenna Coleman situation, which they did with her when they were debuting her. She actually appeared as a different character until she eventually became the companion. So looks like they're doing the same thing here with her. So her character shows up, she shows up as a different character, and then now she's going to be playing the companion as we head into next year's series. So it's going to be very interesting. So something's definitely going on. So definitely some very interesting tactics there that Moffat's doing exactly what he did with Jenna Coleman back in Series 7, which is very clever that he did that once again. But Varys Sephron, who's going to be the new companion joining Millie Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa in 2025. Now, of course, moving on, we do find out we did have an interview with Jonathan Groves, who's going to be appearing in the Rogue episodes, and he actually talks about his impressions of watching An Unearthly Child. So apparently he watched this story ahead of him being in the episode Rogue, and he talks about this. And in fact, Doctor Who magazine actually has a Rogue theme magazine cover, which I'll show you images here of the covers that they've been showing. These are the two different covers that they're showing off for Doctor Who magazine that's coming out coming out tomorrow. So we'll probably have an extended look at the interview tomorrow. But as well as that, they're also going to be talking about the season finale, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, and the Empires of Death. So they're going to give us our first look at the season finale in this magazine. There's going to be talks from Russell T Davies, who apparently is going to be reporting from New York, which is very interesting. So we might be getting some news about what's going on in New York regarding Doctor Who very soon, considering Russell's reporting from there in his next letters from the showrunner. We also get to hear from the new companion, Varys Sephron. They also talking about the appearances of Susan Twist, which is obviously a big deal right now. Behind the scenes with Devil's Core, looking at the Baby Station crew from Space Babies, of course, and they're also doing a review of the Celestial Toymaker DVD and Blu-ray release, which is coming out in a few weeks' time. So a lot of, and also they talked to Stephen Moffat about the ideas behind Boom. So that just gives you a bit of a summary as to what they are talking about in the upcoming Doctor Who magazine on Thursday. If you're looking to learn more about Rogue or the season finale, if you're interested to find out what's going to be happening in this finale, or get your first taste of what's to come in the final set of episodes that are coming up for Doctor Who, beginning obviously, and they're also going to be talking about 73 Yards and Dr. Bobbles. So we should get some more details from Doctor Who magazine tomorrow. And obviously I'll save that for another Doctor Who news report, which I'll probably put out on Saturday before my reviews of 73 Yards. If you're interested to find out what we can expect from these upcoming episodes that are coming for Doctor Who over the next few weeks. So that's pretty cool. Now, as well as that, we did get some new images for we've had some new trailers and images for the upcoming episode known as 73 Yards, which also Doctor Who's official podcast does talk about some of these trailers and glimpses. But yeah, we definitely see some new images. We see what appears to be a weird-looking circle thing that the Doctor and Ruby talks about, and obviously Ruby steps on it, so they look very concerned about this magical circle of sorts. By her stepping on it, the Doctor goes missing, and obviously Ruby doesn't know where the Doctor is. So there's a lot of and obviously she sees, there's a lot of interesting photos that have just come out, and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see some of the photos that have come out for this episode of Doctor Who. So there's a lot of interesting photos happening to celebrate the release of the story. So definitely leave a link in the description. It also comes with the trailer I actually uploaded this past weekend, which is the trailer that BBC One released for 73 Yards that also came out. So I actually uploaded that, and I actually captured it following the Doctor Who Unleashed episode they did last weekend. So You can see that on the in my channel if you want to see that trailer that came out. That's a little taste of some of the photos that have come out for 73 yards to prepare you for this weekend's Welsh folk horror story. That's going to be a bit of a Dr. Light story from the looks of things. Then on top of that, we do have a little bit of merchandise, particularly a new Missy, aka the female masters, getting a new Big Finish audio called Missy's Bad Influence, which is going to be a new fourth box set related to Missy, the female version of the master, played by Michelle Gomez, and it's going to be coming out. Obviously, it comes out in just a few. Comes out obviously late. Well, obviously slightly later than originally advertised. So of course, it's now available to pre-order, but it's going to be coming out later now, as it was meant to come out this month, but it's been delayed a little bit. So definitely expect it to come out a little bit later than usual. But either way, they made pre-orders available for this Big Finish audio. And there's also a new 8th Doctor Time War audio from Big Finish that's also available to pre-order if you want to get ready for that release from Big Finish. And they've also released some items to celebrate last week's story, Boom. They've released a pen as well as a T-shirt and a coaster that's come out to celebrate the Boom story. This is all available on Forbidden Planet, so I'll leave links in the description if you want to get your hands on those. But in the meantime, really, I think we're getting set. Really, we're just getting set for any further Doctor Who news regarding Dots and Bobble and the rest of the series, and hopefully understanding what's going on with the Susan Traits stuff and whether or not Susan Foreman could make a return to Doctor Who very soon, which hopefully we'll find out what's going on that front. But regardless, though, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be looking forward to catching you all in my next Doctor Who news video this weekend as we take a look at the Doctor Who magazine's preview of the next few weeks of Doctor Who, which will begin with obviously this Saturday. We'll begin with Dots and Bobbles with the remaining 4 episodes of Doctor Who that we got to look forward to following 73 yards. So see you then.